Now, I'm doing multiple bicep exercises. It's really important to understand the purpose of each exercise and executing with the form in that manner. I think it's a matter of biceps. Like, I look at it a few different ways, but what I'm trying to do is layer in a traditional bicep curl movement. So any kind of just regular standing curl. Then I like to add in a movement that is creating a stretch to the biceps. And then I also like to focus on a movement that emphasizes on that peak contraction, a really strong peak contraction. And then lastly, always throw in some sort of hammer curl, reverse curl. Typically for the first exercise, I like to go a little higher reps, 15 to 20 reps. Get a lot of blood in the muscle right at the beginning of the biceps workout. You have some blood in the muscles from training back. Now I'm just trying to flush as much blood as I can into the beginning of the workout. And then that pump should be really intense through the rest of the bicep workout. First set's gonna be like 70% intensity. Then maybe I'm going like 85 for that second set, and then that third set I'm hitting pretty close to 100%. Yeah, I like to use the cables in the beginning, focusing on just the nice smooth resistance, focusing on that peak contraction here. I think it's something that a lot of people overlook. The more you can squeeze the biceps, create that connection, the better you're going to be able to develop the bicep. That's really important. The preacher curl is a great movement for emphasizing the stretch, emphasizing the negative, that eccentric portion of the movement. You do not get a strong peak contraction at the top just because of the angle, but as you lower that weight down, you're getting more and more tension on the biceps. That's why I like to utilize it here, just emphasizing that negative, really focusing on that stretch. Yeah, on this particular movement, you don't want to go super heavy. You need to be careful on this movement. You don't want to overload the muscle too much. You're in a vulnerable position at the bottom of this movement. So I would say err on the side of caution with the weight and really just focus on controlling that negative. You don't have to always increase the weight when you're doing a particular exercise. So this exercise right here, I kept it at 25 pounds for the entire 3 sets. And I was focusing on the technique, really trying to get that connection with the muscle, fatigue the muscle within a certain rep range. Bicep training, really, it's all about isolation. So what I'm focusing here is, if you're gonna flex your wrist like this, you're gonna be getting your forearm involved. So I'm keeping more of a neutral wrist so that more of the tension is going onto the biceps, which is what the main focus is here. So training smart is key. You really want to avoid injury at all costs, just focusing on form, technique, connection with the muscle, contraction, and really trying to play it safe here, because you tear a muscle, that's it. You can't work out and you're moving backwards. Concentration curl here, really the focus on this one is just a really strong peak contraction. Exercise you feel the strongest peak contraction with are going to allow you to get more of that biceps peak. Squeezing and flexing as hard as you can at the top of that movement. Spider curls are another example of an exercise like that. I feel standing concentration curls feel the strongest contraction with them. Oh, it's something I like to layer into my routine pretty often. And then what I'm doing with each rep is flexing as hard as I can until I feel the entire biceps contract, and then I'm releasing the rep. So that's the whole thing, is I'm really digging in there. I'm searching for that peak contraction where I'm feeling the entire muscle contract as strong as possible, and then I'm releasing it. Any of the reverse curls, hammer curls, you're really trying to focus on brachioradialis. And then also it's gonna hit a little bit of the brachialis, which is the muscle here between the biceps and the triceps. Of course, you're also working your biceps as well, but just a nice movement to incorporate, get some forearm out of it. Just really balances out the forearm. It's gonna help to create more shape and width. I think it's a movement that's overlooked by a lot of people. They just do all the curls. They don't focus on hammer curls and reverse curls. And I think that's why you see maybe some people don't quite have the forearm development that matches the biceps. It's all about flow and symmetry. So you're gonna want forearm development to match the biceps, shoulder development, all of it should flow together. So I'm always looking for everything I do myself, and then also when I structure programs out for my clients, it's like symmetry is just across the board what I'm focusing on. So balancing out all the muscle groups to create more symmetry or improve the symmetry that's already there. But I think you want to try to develop all aspects of the biceps, which is again why you're doing all these different movements to target all the different areas and hit it from all the different angles.